this is the volume question from 2004 O levels. The diagram shows a solid consisting of a cone and a hemisphere. So they have given the details here. You can read and you can come to a conclusion that the height of the cone is twice that of its radius. So the radius they have given it as r, so the height should be 2r. And then the diameter of the hemisphere and that of the cone are the same, which means the radius of the hemisphere is also r. Okay. Now moving on to the question, they are asking us to write down the diameter of the hemisphere in terms of r. So the diameter of the hemisphere should be 2r, right? 2r. And then find the height of the compound solid. So the total solid, the height here is 2r and the height here should be the radius, right? It is r. So the total height is 3r, right? And B, Roman number 1, write down the expressions for the volume of the cone and that of the hemisphere in terms of pi and r. So for the cone, the formula is 1/3 pi r squared h. Since height is twice the radius here, it should be 1/3 pi r squared into 2r, which gives us 2/3 pi r cubed. That is for the cone. And for the hemisphere, it's 2/3 pi r cubed, right? Since the radius is r itself, we can conclude that the volume of the hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cubed. And you can observe that both the volumes are equal, right? What is the relation between the volume of the above cone and that of the hemisphere? So the answer for Roman number 2 is they are equal. They are equal. And then Roman number 3, obtain an expression in its simplest form for the volume of the compound solid in terms of pi and r. So now we'll have to add the volume of the hemisphere and that of the cone. So volume of the compound solid should be 2/3 pi r cubed plus 2/3 pi r cubed. So that would be 4/3 pi r cubed. Taking r as 8.5 and pi as 3.14, find the volume of the compound solid. Okay, so you'll have to use logarithm for that. I'll just mark the volume as V. V is equal to 4/3 3.14 into what was the radius? 8.5. 8.5 cubed, right? So there are many approaches to do this. The best way is to multiply these two first, and we can also divide it by 3, right, for our easiness. Then if we divide it by 3 first, we'll end up with 1.046, right? Yeah, it will be 1.046 recurring. So we can conclude that to be 1.047, and then we'll have to multiply this by 7. That will give us 4.188 to 8.5 cube, right? Let me double check that. Yes, that's correct. Okay, now we'll have to find the log of V, right? So log V is equal to log 4.188 plus log 8.5 cubed. So it's a property of logarithms, we can take this power in front as a constant. So I'll put the characteristic of this. Before that, let's write this down. 3 log 8.5, right? So the characteristic of this would be 0, and here it's 3 times. Yeah, the characteristic of this is also 0. Now we'll have to find the logarithms. So 4188 and then 85. 8 8, yeah, 4188, that would be plus 8, so that's 6220, and then we'll have to find 85, right? 850, that's 9294. 6220 9294. Right, now we'll have to perform the multiplication here, and then we'll have to add both of them. Sorry, there won't be any log here, right? So that will give us now we'll have to add them up. This would be Lg log of V. So V would be antilog 3.4102. We'll have to find the antilog. We'll have to look for this mantissa. 4102, that would be 41. So there's no 4102, so we'll have to go to 499, and then we'll have to add 3 more, so that's in 25 7. So 25 7, we'll have to add 3 more. 3 is in the second column, so 25 7 2. V is equal to 25 7 2. Since the characteristic is 3, we have to keep the decimal point after 4 units, after 4 digits. So this would be the volume of the compound figure, right? And then part C, without calculating, write the radius of a solid sphere whose volume is equal to the volume of the compound solid. So we know the formula for the volume of a solid sphere is 4/3 pi r cube, and the formula of the volume for this compound solid was also 4/3 pi r cube, which means the radius of a solid sphere and that of this compound solid should be equal, which is r. That is r, which means it is 8.5 centimeters according to our question.